Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to take a look at a common misconception about twin-engine planes. Now when people think about twin-engine planes, they think, oh, I've got that extra redundancy that's really going to make it a lot safer of a flight. But in reality, you've basically doubled the chance of something going wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to recreate a little scenario and kind of show you how to sort of deal with it should it come up, as well as kind of discuss some of the implications that it has. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, we have ourselves a classic. This is a Beechcraft, the Baron 58. This is, when I think twin-engine light planes, this is the first plane that comes to mind. Thank you, Flight Simulator 9, for that, by the way. But this is really a solid plane. I've got a little tiny bit of time on one of these in the real world. I almost snapped the radar off the front of them with the flap on a Cessna 172 one time. Let's just say when you go to pack your airplanes in a hangar, make sure they're not on top of each other. Not recommended at all. This warning, by the way, about the pitot heat, that's actually almost a universal thing that you see in a lot of aircraft. It always made me crazy. So anyway, what's the scenario? Well, as you know, twin-engine planes have separate controls for each engine. And we're going to go ahead and take off, but something bad's going to happen during our takeoff, and we're going to try to make it work anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and release the parking brake here. I'm going to go ahead and smoothly apply full power both engines. And let's get rolling. Looks like it's a nice smooth takeoff, runway 27, Wyndham. I've smacked into this piece of asphalt so many times I care to not. Oh, and I've lost my right engine. Whoa! Oh, no. Okay, what happened? So as you probably saw there, I lost an engine during takeoff. Now the problem was, for a couple moments there, I was completely in control of the plane. I had no issue, but all of a sudden, as the RPM on this engine dropped and my thrust killed there, now I had this engine that was now doing all of the work of my flight. Because it was doing all the work of my flight, it caused me to pull off the runway. So of course, in my panic as an intentionally bad pilot, I felt like an infomercial pilot back there for a second. I literally tried to get the plane airborne, thinking I could figure it out once I get in the air, and it all went downhill. So we're going to create the same scenario, but we're actually going to do something differently. When we lose that engine, we're going to intentionally take the throttle down on the still working engine. Now the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to have less of that asymmetrical force and be better in control of the airplane. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my aileron and I'm going to shove it to try to keep that left tire on the ground as aggressively as possible and try to use the ground in our tires a little bit longer than we normally would. So let's go ahead and do it. Full power. Go ahead and make sure my controls are unlocked here. I swear I never get to split it. About 23 knots, we're starting to pick up, we're getting close to that rotate, and we lost that engine. It's immediately going to pull. I'm actually going to pull the other throttle back. So now I have less than full power. Now I'm going to clean the helicopter. I almost did it. Now that I've got a little bit of speed and I'm above my VMC, I'm not going to apply full throttle. I'm just going to get just a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to smoothly bring that power back up as I'm starting to get myself a little bit more power. And I'm going to let the nose come down, and we're back in business. So even though this aircraft is not exactly being a sprightly climber at the moment, I am still in control of this aircraft. Whereas before, the moment that throttle went all the way down, because I tried to stick it and all that thrust was still coming out of that left engine, we had a very difficult time controlling it. The other problem we have too is if you take a look down at the floor, you can see how far I need to push my left foot forward in order to somewhat coordinate this plane. If I were to stall this plane now, let me go ahead and center it out. Ooh, there we go. So we're now completely centered out. By the way, dead foot, dead engine, if everybody remembers. Now we're completely centered. If we were to stall this, we would basically instantaneously turn to a death spin here because of the fact that the aircraft would instantly snap itself pretty much right to the left, because you can see just how far that effect is actually going to be. Now that we're in the air, we can start dealing with our emergencies. We can do things like go ahead and feather out that engine a little bit. We can also go ahead and pull this one back and make it a little bit easier for us to control. There we go. Go ahead and pop up that flap.
Squawk 2032.
Nice. And now we are on our way. So as you can see, the intuitive thing to do there would be to try to fly the plane. The better thing to do would be to actually reduce the thrust. Enjoy.